What's up, y'all? Welcome back, Pitchside with Parker, to another daily video, and it is Friday, so you already know what that means. It's Footy Friday. So today I'll give you a rundown of all the best games to watch this weekend, what times, how to watch them, and there's a lot to pick from this weekend because we got NWSL coming back, we got international friendlies going on in addition to all the club games. I mean, it's gonna be awesome, so definitely stay tuned for that. But before we get into that, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and smash that like button before we even get into the video, because that's what we do on this channel. Anyway, happy Friday to y'all, man. That's what we always got to start these videos with. It's my weekly check-in with you. How are you doing? I hope you're well. Let me know in the comments. I hope that y'all have made it through the week and you're looking forward to the weekend, especially for the working people out there like myself, the Monday to Friday people. We made it. It's a good thing. There's lots of soccer on deck for this weekend. It's also been a fun week on the channel. I've had a lot of content. The Arsenal game almost finished me today, but I did get a review up for that. The other thing I would highly recommend, if you haven't already checked it out, is my NWSL Challenge Cup preview. I did preview every single team, and the Challenge Cup starts tonight as you're watching this. I mean, shoot, the games might already be on by the time you're seeing this. And the last thing, very important before I get into it, is that on Saturday, my daily video will be a live stream. So because there is so much awesome soccer this weekend and I needed something to do on Saturday, it's good timing because, as I'm gonna say in this video, there will be plenty of good games on Saturday, and so there should be a whole lot to talk about in that live stream. So make sure you're there. Make sure you got the post notifications on so you know when I'm going live. It'll probably be around 5 or 6 or something like that. But definitely come through and support. I really appreciate when people come to the live streams because it helps me kind of keep them going, and having questions and having responses from people in the chat really makes it a lot more interesting. Otherwise, it's kind of like me just doing another video, but just doing it live. So definitely come through to that, and yeah, I'll shut up and get into the video. So let's dig into the fixture list this weekend, and starting very early on Saturday morning, we have Man City versus Leeds. This game is at 7:30 Eastern time. It is on Peacock, unfortunately, but is this game worth waking up for? That's what I always ask about the early games, and for the first time in a while, the answer here is yes. I don't know if y'all remember the last time that Man City and Leeds played, but that game was so good. Like, I remember watching that game and just being out of breath afterwards. You know, you might look at it and say, okay, Man City should dominate this game. Like, maybe it won't be that exciting. They might crush Leeds the way that United did this year or Tottenham did this year. I don't know, because I think Man City will be rotating a lot of players, having to work around their Champions League fixtures. So it'll be a little bit of a rotated team, so hopefully that will even the playing field slightly for Leeds, although we know that City's bench players are still ridiculous. But I think it'll be an exciting game. I would say, you know, if you don't need the extra sleep, or if you're going to be up early anyway, definitely watch this game. The next game I'll go to on Saturday is in the Bundesliga, and it is Frankfurt versus Wolfsburg. These two teams have had really good seasons. They are currently in 3rd and 4th place. Wolfsburg is in 3rd. Frankfurt is in 4th. They do have a pretty healthy cushion above Borussia Dortmund, actually, for the 2 Champions League spots. So they're not necessarily competing directly for a place in the table, but if Wolfsburg win this game, they could actually catch up to Leipzig and finish 2nd, which would just be an awesome achievement for them in general as a club. They've really had a great season. And so I think this should be a pretty good game in the Bundesliga, a couple of the top 4 teams, and that game is on ESPN Plus at 9:30 in the morning. So for the midday slot, I am excited for this one. US Women's National Team back in action for a couple of friendlies this coming week. I think the other one is on Tuesday, and I don't know why, but they actually timed the other one during the Champions League in what will be the same time slot as Bayern versus PSG second leg, which is very unfortunate for those of us who would love to watch both. However, this game on Saturday is primo, and really there are not a whole lot of other games in this time slot actually that I would even think about watching instead. So it's Sweden versus USA. The lights are on. They're on Big Fox, which is really exciting. You know, network television, which is rare in the women's game for sure. I mean, like, for instance, the NWSL Challenge Cup is only going to have 1 game on network television the entire time, and that's the final. So to get an international friendly on Fox, I mean, that's awesome. Of course, there will be so much to watch for the US national team. I mean, they are still trying to figure out a lot ahead of the Olympics, finalize the roster. And I mean, this game has plenty of history. You know, it's been a very common matchup in World Cups and Olympics past. And I'm excited because, for those who don't know, I support Sweden pretty heavily as well. I mean, when they play the US, it's tough for me because I do want to root for the US women's national team. If it was a men's game, I'd probably root for Sweden. But in terms of the women's team, I do have to rock with the United States for sure. But I mean, look, I have a Sweden kit and I don't have a US kit. So if that tells you anything, I mean, there you go. But yeah, I'm just gassed for this game. I'm excited to see what the US national team comes with against a top opponent. And hopefully they can start getting some more clarity about who's going to get these final 18 Olympic spots. So that game is at 1:10 Eastern time on Fox. Don't tune in any earlier. They will probably tell you that the coverage starts at 12:30 because that's what Fox does, but then you have to listen to Alexi Lalas talk for 30 minutes and nobody wants that. So 1:10 is the actual kickoff time and you can miss all the nonsense before that. And last but certainly not least, on Saturday, we have none other than El Clasico, Real Madrid versus Barcelona. It's the big one, and this is massive in the table as well. These two teams are both looking to catch up to Atletico Madrid at the end of the season here. Atletico have been wobbling. I believe Barca are 1 or 2 points behind them. So if they win this game and Atletico drop points, they could actually go top this weekend. But of course, that does mean beating Real Madrid, who looked very good in their win over Liverpool in the Champions League this week. The last Clasico went in their favor, so I think you have to say that Madrid are the favorites coming in, but Barca are one of the hottest teams in La Liga right now. They really are making that push for the title, and unlike Madrid, they don't have Champions League to worry about after this. I mean, this just has all the ingredients to being a electric game, a must-watch game. So yeah, 3 o'clock Eastern time for the Clasico primetime TV. It will be on BN Sports or Fanatis, and it's really the marquee matchup of the weekend. I do also want to give a shout out to NC Courage versus Washington Spirit. That is one of the NWSL Challenge Cup games I'm looking forward to most this weekend. That is going to be on during the Clasico. It starts at 3:30, so might be a little dual screen action, or I'll catch it after the Clasico ends. But definitely worth watching if you're in tune for those NWSL things, or you don't have BN or Fanatis, or you don't want to go out of your way to find a stream for the Clasico. That will be a game that you could definitely check out as well. So moving on to Sunday, a lot less interesting games today, if I'm being totally honest. The early slot, didn't find anything really worth getting up for. I think Burnley plays in the morning for the Prem, so that's going to be a no for me. And also, we got a couple more Prem games on the docket. So the mid-morning window, usually I pick a WSL game here, but they are on international break. So I'm going with West Ham versus Leicester. This will be a 3 versus 4 matchup in the Premier League table. Certainly that battle for top 4 is still very tight between those two and Chelsea. Chelsea are 1 point behind them. So either team gets a win in this game, that will be massive. It's going to be a huge game for the Chelsea fans as well, because, if it's a draw, they could have the potential to jump both of these teams. And even if one of them does take the full 3 points, the team that loses could still get jumped by Chelsea as well, assuming Chelsea takes care of business. So, I mean, this one's massive for the Premier League table, for Champions League next season, and especially for West Ham and Leicester. I mean, I don't really care if Chelsea are in it or not, but I really want to see, ideally, both of these teams, but at least one of them make the Champions League next year, because I just feel like they deserve it. They've both had great seasons. Leicester has had to deal with so much adversity with the amount of injuries that they've had. After Liverpool, they've been the most hard hit by injuries this season. And so for them to still be fighting for a top 4, to me, is actually really impressive by Brendan Rodgers. And West Ham, I've talked about them several times in these preview videos. I usually pick them as one of the games to watch because they're just awesome. Lingard's been balling out. I would expect more fireworks from him this weekend. It'll be Lingard versus Madison in the matchup of the English cams. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this game for sure. 9 o'clock Eastern time, Peacock TV once again, unfortunately, is broadcasting this one. The next game on Sunday also comes from the Premier League. It's also unfortunately on Peacock, but it's at 12:30 Eastern time, Manchester United versus Tottenham, the quote-unquote headlight game of the weekend. But I'll always tell y'all this, when Man U is one of the big games of the weekend, it's not going to be exciting, okay? Man U loves a 0-0 against another supposed Big Six team. Tottenham are still fighting potentially for a top 4 spot as well, although Newcastle definitely dealt a blow to that last week. So they've probably got more incentive in this game than Man United do. Hopefully that means they would be a little more on the front foot, but let's be honest, we know how Mourinho is, especially in these games, especially against his old team. He's going to be as cynical as possible, I think. And like I said, not expecting this to be a fantastic game, but there's not a whole lot else on, and it is a marquee matchup, so we're going with Man U and Tottenham. Finally, rounding out Sunday, the late game that you should watch is Atletico Madrid versus Betis. Betis is at home in this one. They're 6th in the table, and you could argue this is just as big of a game for them as it is for Atletico at the top. They're trying to make a little push to at least get into Europa League, if not one of the Champions League spots. And of course, for Atletico, they have to win. I mean, they need to win every game to keep that distance between themselves and Real Madrid and Barcelona. If they drop any points, those teams are right on their heels. And it'll be interesting as well to see how this goes based on how Clasico finishes this weekend, because this game will be the next day. So Atletico will know the result. And especially if that game ended in a draw, it would take a little bit of the pressure off Atletico here. But assuming one of the two teams wins, especially if Barca won, there would be some serious pressure on Atletico to beat Betis on the road in this primetime game on Sunday. So I'm very curious to see how they would handle that. They haven't been handling the pressure well so far since they've been top of the league down this final stretch of the season, and they definitely didn't handle it well in Champions League. So it kind of looks like the bottle is coming, if we're being honest. But you can watch for yourself, and you can find out. 3 o'clock Eastern time. BN or Fanatis are the places to watch that game. So that wraps it up for Footy Friday. I appreciate y'all for sticking around till the end of the video. If you did, oh, you are a real one. And I need to tell you that. Thank you so much. I just appreciate y'all's support. It's been awesome this week. Keep on hitting that like button. Make sure you got those post notifications turned on. Everything you can do to help supporting the channel. We're gonna keep growing, and I'm excited. So yeah, with that being said, I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace.